Alright, today I'm going to talk about the paint command. So I'm in Visual Studio Code here, and if we look at the paint command, you could enter the X, Y coordinates and the fill color and the border color. So I'm going to jump to DOSBox and run QBasic here. Same program. Let's just make sure it's the same program. Yeah. So that fills in half the or portion of the circle to green. What you may not know is that instead of a fill color here, you could actually specify a pattern. And if we look at the help here, it gives us a little hint on what format the pattern can be. So 8 bits wide and 64 bytes long. Now, it doesn't tell you exactly what format it should be in, but I've been tinkering around and I think I figured it out. So that's what I'm going to show you today. Uh, I don't think this has been documented anywhere. If it is, uh, please post a link. It would be nice to know the actual format. Uh, but I think I've discovered most of it. So I'll go through it here. Um, so first things first, let's create a pattern. And I'm going to use my program here. And I will create, let's start with 16 colors. I'm going to go through the different screen modes: 16 color, 4 color, 2 color, and 256 color. I'm just going to create a simple pattern here. Let's go green. So I'm doing an 8 by 8 just to keep things simple, but this could also be 8 by 16, 8 by 32, as long as you keep it up to or less than equal to 64 bytes long, basically. So I think this is fine. Let's do one more color. Let's do yellow. All right, so I will export this in QuickBasic QB64 data statements. I will call this Pat16. Do I have a Pat16 already? I don't think so. Okay, save and back into Visual Studio Code. Open file. I will import what I just saved, Pat16, DAT. Uh, e, nope, Pat16. Here we go. So I will put this in my program here. Let's just put it above the subroutine. Okay. I will. So we're doing screen 7. So that's 16 colors, 320 by 200. The size of this image is 18. So I'm going to change our array size to 18. We're going to read from 0 to 17. That makes 18. And we're going to display that image with the put command just to make sure things are okay. And I will reload the modified program. And we can see that the put command displayed this, and we're still painting with green. But now I'm going to try painting with that pattern. So what we have to do is I will restore the data statement so we can read them again with the read pattern command. And this is going to change to 18 here. And instead of the color 2, we're going to put the pattern string. And let's save that. And let's see if that works. And yep, there's our pattern being painted. So this took me a while to figure out because I wasn't exactly sure what format the pattern should be, but it takes a similar format to the put command. The only difference, and let's go into, is that we don't need to use the width or height. That's fixed. So we read those two values, but we don't do anything with them. And we convert the rest of the data from integers to strings using the mki command. So that takes a string and converts it into, sorry, it takes an integer and converts it to string. Makes it a 2-byte string basically. And I just keep adding, we go through the loop and we keep adding, and that's the format basically. And this works for all the different colors. So I'm going to go and switch to, let's do 4-color next. Now 4-colors is a little, here, I already created this. So we got 4-colors here. Is a little different. So you can't use the entire width. You could only use half. So it's actually 4 pixels wide for CGA. You can use all the colors, but only up to 4 pixels. And we have to export this by selecting only the 4 pixels for width. For height, that again could be any height. So let's go export, and I will call this, let's see, do I have a path forward? I do. I will delete that and export it again. And let's come back in here. We're going to change to screen mode 1, that's CGA, and we're going to get rid of this. This is the 16 color pattern. We'll get rid of that. And we're going to load our pat4, copy that, and put it here. So the size of this is 6 elements. So let's modify our program, change that to 6. 0 to 5 is 6. And change this to 6. 6. All right. So if I've done everything right, we should be able to see the CGA 4-color pattern. Let's save that and jump back to DOSBox and QBasic. All right, so this is the version I just modified. I reloaded back in. CGA mode, we can see here that the put command displays this. And if we hit enter, we get the pattern filled properly. All right, so that works. So you just got to remember 4 pixels wide. Unlike the 16 color mode where you can use 8 pixels wide, CGA only 4 pixels wide. Let's do 2-color next, or monocolor. And this time, my camera's blocking my taskbar, so it's hard to see where my programs are. So I already have this X pattern for the 2-color or monocolor, and let's export that, and let's call it pat mono. Save. All right, back into Visual Studio Code, and we're going to go change the screen to that's a monocolor or two color mode. And here it is. All right, we'll copy this and replace this here. Don't worry about the code here. I'll upload it to GitHub. You can play around with it. So now we have two colors, or mono, background and foreground color. And let's change the size should be 6. Okay, we're good with that. Yeah, we don't have to change anything else. Okay, save. And back to QBasic. All right, run. Nope, that doesn't look right. That only showed half. Let's see what we did here. Okay, it's because I've had only half of it selected here. Let's disable that. So this should now export the full thing. Export again. Delete. Save. All right. Here it is. This is the updated version I just made now. Okay. Save again, and this time it should work. Let's open it up. Here we go. So the put command displayed DX properly, and if we hit enter, our pattern fills here. And so that's the way it should be. So with the monocolor or two color mode, we can use all 8 pixels, and that works fine. Now the worst option is the 256 color mode. So that's screen 13, and I'm going to show you if we try to do it in 8 pixel wide version and see what happens. Okay, so let's resize this to 8 by 8, and let's try to do something like this. Okay, so you think this would work like the 16 color mode? We should be able to see all these different colors, but it turns out that 256 color mode, it's either a bug or it doesn't behave the way you would expect. So I'll call this PAT 256. Do we have a PAT 256 already? Yeah, we do. Let's delete that. Okay. Let's just make sure it's the one we just saved. Okay. So this is 30, the size is 34, 34 from 0 to 33, and 34 here. Save it and into QBasic, reload. All right, let's see what happens. So the put command displays it properly. That's what should appear. Let's see the pattern. And no, we don't get what we were expecting. We get just solid lines. And it turns out that that's as good as you're going to get with this, because it doesn't allow you to specify more than 1 pixel wide. Um, so if we go back to the help here, it specifically says that uh, it's it uses 1 byte. So 1 byte in 256 color mode is a single color. So, but this is a little confusing because it says 8 pixels. It might be a bug, or it might not be. I'm not quite sure because it's not very specific here. But it's not very useful in the 256 color mode. So the only thing you can do, and I'll show you the smallest pattern you can create that gives you still the same effect, is if we clear this and we just do 1 pixel wide, and let's and white. So if we clip this and export it, PAT 256 B, let's call it. PAT 256B. Okay, so this is it. 256 colors, 1 pixel wide. And the size 6. Change that to 6. 0 to 5 is 6. And screen 13. Okay. Reload. Okay. So the put command displays our image properly. Let's see what happens with our fill color. So since we could only get 1 pixel wide, this looks proper now. It's just expanding the single pixel to go across for how long it reaches the border. But that's all you can do with the 256 color mode. Single pixel wide patterns, which is not very useful, but maybe for certain effects. Anyway, that's it for this video. I'll upload the source code to GitHub, and you can play around with it. There'll be a link in the description.